This one is called Raising Children, 3/1909. I'm going to start with some verses. First one is 18:2-6. He called a little child and had him stand among them. And he said, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. This is ironic. Most people fight to be not children. I think it's an important lesson to learn that that little kid side might actually be a good thing to hold on to. Okay, the next one is Matthew 19:13-15. Okay. Then the little children were brought to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. Jesus said, Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. When he had placed his hands on them, he went on from there. The last verse is Mark 10:13-16. People were bringing little children to Jesus to have him touch them, but the disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant, and he said to them, Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. I tell you the truth, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. And he took the children in his arms, and he put his hands on them and blessed them. There are many verses in the Reconciler Gospel of Thomas that speak of us trying to emulate children. One of the favorite things is ask like a 3-year-old until you're satisfied. Jesus put great store in children and in their ability to mirror what heaven is. They are the most recent people to come from heaven, and a part of heaven still clings to them until we wear it away. I think it's important for us to embrace the childhood in ourselves, but also to nurture the children in our presence. I remember there was this book, I think it was Hillary Clinton that wrote it, that was about it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think that that is a very good statement. I recently had an experience where there were a group of children, and I was walking up and down the stairs doing whatever. I must have been bringing groceries in or something. And I heard glass break. And I thought, whoa, children, glass, not a good combination. So I looked down and I saw a broken beer bottle. And I asked them, how'd the bottle get broken? They said they broke it. And I said, you're not supposed to be doing that. Don't do that anymore. I want you to go get a dustpan and broom, and I want you to sweep it all up so no one gets hurt. Well, I didn't have to scold them. Matter of fact, most people in society would say, don't get involved. The parents are going to get mad at you. Well, where were the parents? I didn't see them. I hadn't seen any parents around these children all afternoon. Then, one of the children didn't follow my instructions, and she picked up a piece of glass and got a very tiny little cut on her finger. It was the equivalent of a paper cut. Because when she said she was cut, I immediately went into medic mode and decided, okay, let's see it, let's stitch it up, we'll fix it. And I looked at it and I thought, okay, she needs an emotional hug here. That's why she's saying this is a massive injury. So I asked her to go and get a Band-Aid from her mom and fix her finger up. She then told me that her mom didn't have any Band-Aids. Now, even if this child knew that there were Band-Aids at the house, or knew that their mom would be overjoyed to fix them up, they weren't supposed to be talking to strangers in the first place. They actually told me that. And I said, well, then don't talk to me. No problem. But this child approached me and said, I have an owie. And when she said she didn't have the way to fix it, I told her to stay where she was. I went and got my alcohol and swabs and my antiseptic ointment to put on, and a Band-Aid, and a couple of spare Band-Aids in case, she needed to change it later, in case she was telling the truth. I do live in a complex that doesn't seem to have a lot of discretionary money, and maybe Band-Aids were considered discretionary, so I'm not judging. So I fixed her up and got the Band-Aid on, and she seemed much better. She seemed like she got what she needed, which was an adult caring about what happened to her. And I asked her if she needed more Band-Aids to take home, and she said yes, so I gave her 2. And she seemed like I had just given her a diamond. I don't know how many adults have interacted with these young people, but unless more of us do, we're going to lose them. Even if you do not have children in your life, you're still helping to form their opinions about things, the way they interact with other people. You're helping them to understand that compassion is a part of life, not something that's a luxury item you can do when you got too much money to do anything with. That something as simple as a Band-Aid can make you happy. I'm not tooting my own horn here. I would have done this for any kid, or any adult for that matter, if they asked for help. This child asked for help. But I'm asking you to make a special effort with the children to set a good example and to be there for them, to help raise them, even if you are not an official member of their family. All society has a responsibility to the children in their presence. God bless the whole world. No exceptions. Angel Eliza.